The last part is to put the data back into the database. So you can see we've extracted it from the database and we want to put it into the data warehouse database. So if I right mouse click on this one, you can see that there is no data in there. So the next process is to do another data flow to put the data back in. So I'm just going to right mouse click and disable this, otherwise it will run both at the same time, and choose another data flow. And so notice I've renamed this to client extract, and I'm going to call this client load. So it could even put DW for client load. And double click on that one, and we're going to be extracting it from the Excel file. So let's set the Excel file up. You need to browse to where you've got it, and that was the Excel file that we transformed in the last video, so the worksheet. Once that's set up, you should be able to click here and find the sheet that it's coming from, so leave it on table view and find that sheet. And then just have a look at the columns. You can see these were the columns that we had in the sheet. And go OK to that one, and the red cross is gone. The next one is where we're going to put it, so the destination. So that's the OLE, because this time we're actually going to put it into the data warehouse. So before you do that connection, just connect them up together. So you just choose a blue line to connect. The red line is for where you want it to go for errors. So now rename these actually. So this is going to be our client Excel data, and this is going to be our client DW to go into the data warehouse. So double click to do that connection. And then if you already got it here, you shouldn't have to reconnect, but it doesn't seem to want to like it this time round, so I'm just going to go a new connection and put it in the data warehouse for the server name, and then test that connection. Make this a bit smaller and test that connection. Yes, that's good. And leave it on Windows Authentication unless you've got SQL Server, and then you should be able to get to your data warehouse. So you select the other database this time, which was my client data warehouse. So once that's all connected, you should be able to select the table from the drop-down list. Once again, if you had multiple tables, you could choose an SQL statement. So I only have one. Then you need to do the mappings. If it finds a name similar, so this was from the file, it will actually load it, but notice this one was different, so I actually have to select it. So now it's going to move the client ID from the Excel into the client key in the table, the full name from the Excel into full name into there. So now there is an error, and I expected this. This is a Unicode that comes up when you're using Excel data. So you actually have to delete that. So click on it and hit your delete. And you need to do a transformation in the middle. So under common, there's one called data conversion. So I'm just going to leave it small so we can see all three, and connect that up to there, and connect that one up to there. So if I move that, you can see it's connected. So now double click on the data conversion, and it was to do with this column here, and it was to do with this Unicode. So sometimes you have to change it to string and sometimes vice versa. So once you've got that done, you can click OK. You can rename it. So if I rename it, I'll probably add convert or conversion, converted, and then leave it as that name just to make it something obvious, and then go OK. So now we need to remap because we will map to the old one in here. So double click on that and go back to your mappings. So now we can click and select the converted one. So once again, try and make that smaller and click OK. So still has a problem. Read-only key. Okay, so in here, it doesn't want to load, probably because I've made that a identity, and I'll show you that in a minute. So it's auto-generating that. So because of that, if you've got an auto-generating primary key, you will need to ignore it. And now it's gone. So here there is a warning. So if you've put the length too short, so I've got a full name of 100, if it's over 100, it's going to just truncate it or cut it off. So mine shouldn't be over 100, so I'm not too concerned. Once again, I like to save all because it can crash while you're testing, depending on your setup in your server. And then start it to run it. And it would take a little while to run through. It's got about 1,000 rows, but you can see that it was all successful doing the data conversion and then inserting. All ticks means that it's actually worked. So you can stop that. I still like to double check. So go back to the database, right mouse click, and top 1,000 rows. And you can see that it's got the converted full names in here, whereas this one actually had first name and last name. So it's just a trick to actually get data converted and put into a different database. You can do the same process by using SQL Server, and that will be the next videos that we get to. So thank you for listening, and I hope to see you back in another tutorial.